Well, here we are with another edition of GJ Unspoken, where we discuss stuff we don't typically talk about, but probably should. And I'm in the house of Peter Sargent. How are you, mate?
Good, mate.
Hey, thanks for having me over. I've stung you with a podcast. I've already had your wife on the show, and now I thought I'd have you on the show too. You can't get off that lightly.
No.
All right, mate, let's check in. If I said to you out of 5 is awesome and 1 is terrible, how are you feeling right now? How are you travelling?
Yeah, 4.
4? Yeah, you're usually pretty high though, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're pretty high. All right. And what's something that Pete Sargent's really grateful for at the moment?
Family.
Family? Okay. All right. Well, I was going to introduce you, but I'm going to put you on the spot now because you said you're not nervous about this. This is good. I'm probably more nervous than you are. If I said to you, let's sum up Peter Sargent in a minute, who's Peter Sargent?
Someone that likes making people be the best they possibly can.
Yeah.
Especially as far as disabilities. Okay.
Yeah, okay. And we'll get into that because I know that I was grateful enough to come around to your place also when I was updating my personal training, and you had me over at your house and you're training some people there, which is awesome. It was a big eye-opener for me. And yeah, there's natural connections. But let's go back. Let's go to Peter Sargent when he was a junior. Let's get the audience to get to know a bit about you. Whereabouts did you grow up? Were you a local Redcliffe boy?
My early years, first 5 years, 6 years, I lived at Mount Gravatt, and Mum and Dad sold up and bought a house at Zillmere, 1967.
Yep.
Moved there, probably highlighted by the moon landing, 69. Went to Zillmere North State School Primary and then to Sandgate High.
Okay, yeah.
As far as education goes, I completed grade 12, but probably 23 years later I went to uni and did a biomed degree.
23 years later after you finished?
Yeah, didn't even know how to use a calculator when I went there.
Yeah.
Hadn't done chemistry or physics at school, but I got through it. Mm.
How was school for you? Like, was it pretty crazy for you? Did you try hard? Were you into sports? What was school like for you?
I love sports.
Yeah,
probably had me head in the form guide more than anything. Having relations that had horses at Deagon and being at Sandgate High.
Okay, yeah.
So it was a bit of a misspent youth.
You're bred into it.
Yes.
Okay. But no issues at school? Was there much bullying and stuff around there? Was it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I got bullied a lot.
Did you?
Yeah. I can remember one day where a couple of fellas got me and put me on a vice in the woodwork table, and they put a soldering iron on me wrist. Oh, and I still got the scar, but the scar was predominant for probably the next 30 years of my life.
What did you do to deserve that?
Nothing. No, they just I didn't dob them in, so probably gained a lot of respect there because I actually had tuberculosis as probably 7, 8-year-old, and therefore I was pretty small when I was 12, 13. I only weighed about 46 kilos and I wasn't very big, you know. But I was lucky because I suppose I become friends with some of the tougher guys at the school. Yeah, they sort of looked after me.
Yeah, but often bullies, right, picking on someone who's smaller sometimes. And
yeah.
Wow, mate, that would have been pretty tough getting through those times.
Oh, yeah.
Do you ever look back at those times and think, like you just mentioned it then, I'm trying to picture it, right? Do you ever look back?
Could you imagine that now?
No, well, that's right. You know, there'd be, I don't know what, there'd be lawsuits, there'd be...
Oh, geez,
prices to pay. But do you ever look back at those times and think that sort of build your own personal resilience as well?
I suppose it got me interested in probably martial arts in the mid-80s.
Okay.
So I sort of got full on into that for probably 9 or 10 years.
Okay. And what happened then? You said there was a bit of a gap between you went and did the study after school. So what did you do after high school?
After high school, I worked in a garage as just pump petrol.
Okay,
and service cars.
Yep.
Then I had a couple of jobs in factories. I got a job then at the railways as a fettler, putting the railway lines down.
Okay, yeah.
Then I met my first wife, and that job wasn't good enough for the family, so they got me into an apprentice plumber's job, which probably one of the biggest mistakes I made.
Why is that? Hated plumbing?
Yeah, so then I became a plumber between 19 1981 and 1990.
A long time in a job you don't like.
And but in the meantime, I was starting to work in gyms in the mid-'80s and bouncing in nightclubs, and started managing pubs in the early 90s.
Well, okay, let's stop there. What brought it upon? Did you just suddenly get a passion for fitness? Did the little boy start becoming a man? Like, what was it?
Yeah.
The change?
Oh, I think I had a bit of hate build up in me.
Yeah.
Through things that happened in my life.
Yeah.
And that was sort of an outlet, but it's probably the discipline in that was good for me.
Okay.
And that was my introduction into the fitness industry.
Yeah.
So a lot of good come out of it.
Yeah, okay. And what, you fell in love with the gym straight away? Like, how do you introduce there? Or do you
I actually dislocated my shoulder in a kickboxing fight, and the sensei at the time said, come down to the gym and we'll rehab you.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to have surgery because I had dislocated about 8 times.
Okay.
Yeah, I even threw it out throwing a punch once in a fight, and then one other time it got punched out. So that was my introduction to the gym and rehabbing my shoulder.
Yeah.
And that was successful. It never went out again. I never had to have surgery.
Yeah, wow.
And I did all the early fitness modules. I even forget what they were called now, but that's back in the early and mid-90s.
Yeah. So you said you had a fair bit of build-up of hate or struggle or whatever it was. So was that when you went to the gym then and you started doing your kickboxing and stuff, was the gym the feeling of those endorphins going, oh, I've got some confidence about myself now? Is that what a feeling it was? Control? What was it?
Yeah, I believe confidence.
Yeah. A lot of people do kickboxing and karate and different types, don't they, for confidence?
Yeah, I think it helped me with public speaking, confidence, because I had my own martial arts schools.
Yeah, okay.
I got to probationary 3rd Dan.
Yeah, right.
And I had my own fighters and stuff like that.
Yeah, wow.
But I let go of that about 1994, and I'm more interested in helping people, not hurting people.
There's so much I'm learning about Pete tonight. It's crazy. You know half of these stories already. This is good. Okay, so you're doing the dojos. You're doing your schools. You have 3.
Yeah.
And then you decide to give that away. And then is that when the study came on board?
Well, my adopted dad passed away in 94, and I sort of went into a bit of a shell.
Yeah.
And sort of took me a while to get over that. And I decided to get off the couch and put my head in books.
Did you?
In 2000. Okay. So I wasn't doing much between 94, 95 and 2000, just working at the gym.
Yeah.
And that's when I did an undergraduate medicine.
So, but why? Why that field of study? Because that would have been pretty tough, no doubt.
Well, 660 people signed up for the degree, and 33 of us made it through.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, and I actually originally enrolled in sports and exercise, but the PhDs up there said that because of my background and how much I knew about it, I was better off broadening my knowledge with the biomed degree.
Wow.
And I agree with them, but I should have did an exercise physiology module because of how the world's worked out. But end of the day, biomed degree is far harder than an exercise physiology degree.
And how did you go with that? How did you go with did you find the study challenging or difficult, or was
I didn't even know how to use a calculator when I started.
Yeah, wow. So take me through the study then. How hard was it? Was the knowledge you had to learn? Was it hard, or was it passionate for you that you?
I think it was passionate because things like cellular metabolism, biochem, and stuff like that. I got 6s and 7s.
Yeah, wow.
And one of the toughest subjects was probably physiology and anatomy because that was tough.
Yeah.
1 and 2.
Yeah.
But no, I did pretty good.
Yeah. And so how long did that degree take you to do? Like
3 years full time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you did that. In the meantime, were you working as well in the gyms part-time?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And what were you doing? Were you there as a PT, or were you just working around in the gym? I don't mean just, but I mean, were you working as an assistant? what were you doing there?
I was just the owner of Peninsula Fitness at the time, Ryan Jones. He became a fireman, and I did the shifts that he couldn't do, and and just wrote out programs and just kept the gym tidy and kept gym ethic and that.
Yeah. All right. So you did your study, and then what happened?
I wasn't working in the fitness industry at the time, and I started working in pharmacology.
Okay.
I worked for Amdel, Biotech Lab here in Sigma, doing HPLC, GC, method validations, testing for actives in drugs, foods. Just quite a diverse range of, seeing how supplements break down, through heat, boiling, temperature, seeing what actives disperse, how they're retained, and probably quality control, seeing if the actives are still, how many milligrams of certain actives are in each tablet over time, so when they go off or not.
Yeah. So what made you go into that field? So you sort of fitness, the physical side of things, and you went into more the medical side of things. Like what?
The pharmacology side of things,
Yeah, but why is that? Was it just interested you, did it?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I learned a lot about foods and supplements.
Okay. Because the Peter I know was like you came to our sports center way back. I think it was Caboolture? Redcliffe High. It was Redcliffe High back then.
Yeah, it was at the
that would have been
Leeds Club.
Yeah, that would have been in I was there between
2010
and
10.
Yeah, that's right. And maybe you came on stage and you were great we all loved you up there and had a good chat. But I only knew you as a PT because I think I met you in the gym.
The couple of kids that were in that audience, I actually mentored. They did a human movements degree at UQ, and UQ approved me as a mentor for the human movement students up there. The South Korean kid. I don't know if you remember him.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Do I get a finder's fee for that? Mate, that's unreal. So, yeah, but I remember I knew you as a PT. Like, as I know you had all this background knowledge. Like, I know when you're speaking to people and you're around, the people you're training, I can hear the knowledge and the wisdom you've got. But I knew you as a personal trainer. And from that night, I thought, wow, you have a wealth of knowledge. But I met you, the first time was at a gym. And what stood out to me was how you connect to people. And I think that was a game changer for me when I saw you going, I can see that you are physically fit and still are. And you relate, but how you related to everyone you worked with, they knew you gave them the time. Their time was important. And I didn't see a lot around those personal training days when I saw that.
Yeah.
Is that one of your strengths, you think?
Well, I suppose I had passion in helping people, and I think that comes out and people can feel it.
Yeah, yeah. And so I've jumped a bit ahead, I suppose. So when you were working with the pharmacy stuff, then what happened after that? So when did you branch into, and what did you branch into next? Like, let's follow that pathway now. What happens after that?
Well, it was 2006, and a big gym franchise opened up in Queensland called Genesis.
Yep.
And that was at Rothwell. And anyway, the owner of that at the time, a mate of mine spoke to him, and he was having trouble getting PTs there or a PT manager, and my mate said, well, you should get this Pete Sargent. So, he rang me at work one day and I spoke to him, and within a couple of weeks I was there running the PT.
Yeah, right. Good experience?
I didn't. I was just stuck to water.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And so how long were you there for?
So I, between Genesis, Rothwell and Lawton, I've worked with them from 2006 till COVID.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good 10, 15 years.
Mm.
Okay. And were you doing stuff on the side as well?
No, I managed the PT for about 4 years, then I went out on my own as a private trainer.
Okay. And does that mean you're a private trainer in that gym?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And so, what would the books look like? What was when you were thriving? What was how many numbers did you have? Was there many numbers there?
Oh, I was doing between 100 and 110 sessions a week.
Get out of it.
Sessions. Yeah.
Oh, you really?
Yeah. Worked from 5 to about 1 and then come back at 3 to about 9.
That's
and
insane.
Saturdays.
That's insane. Did you still find that you had the energy and motivation for everyone for that period of time, or did you find sometimes you were a bit flat? Like, obviously, we had better days with energy, but I mean, were you resenting it towards the end?
No, I never resented it.
No, okay.
But you can never have bad days being a personal trainer because people feed off your vibe.
Mm.
You know, and even though you might have personal problems, you can't show them. You've got to be uplifted, happy, and you've got to get the best out of them.
Yeah. But did you find that hard to do that repetitively?
No, easy.
No? Okay.
But you know, that's, I suppose I transgressed from, I didn't find helping people with weight loss and aesthetics very challenging or actually rewarding. But then I started working with people with disabilities that it took on a whole new meaning.
All right. Well, let's talk about that, if that's all right. So did that come after Genesis then? Like, how did you...
No, that happened during Genesis. My first client with a disability was a guy called Darren Davis with cerebral palsy.
Okay.
And
how old was he?
Oh, he would have been, well, he's been with me, still with me. He's been with me 15 years.
Wow, okay.
So he was probably about 30 when he started with me.
Yeah.
So so I started with the results I got with him, getting him mobile. I started getting acquired brain injury clients, traumatic brain injury clients, people that had suffered strokes, Parkinson's, muscular dystrophy.
So was this you putting yourself out there? Was it word of mouth?
No, this is just word of mouth. I never, ever advertised that I could help people with disabilities. They just come to me through word of mouth.
Okay, yeah. And so what made you have that passion then to help people who weren't like fully able-bodied?
Well, because I made Darren in particular, made him abled.
Mm.
And they took, you know, he's got cerebral palsy. They took his cab fares away from him. They wanted to take his disabled parking, but they actually labelled him. You should do a podcast with him one day. They actually
let's get him on.
Labelled him anti-disabled.
Really?
And then they said, well, we can't take his disabled parking off him because he passed all the fitness parameters. That kid couldn't walk more than 10 metres when I got him. He couldn't do one revolution on a cross trainer. And in the end, he ended up doing a half marathon on a cross trainer.
That's insane. Well done.
Fun runs.
So good.
He actually won a standing disabled bodybuilding comp when he actually qualified for seated disabled.
Yeah.
So, he's achieved a lot of stuff. And, you know, he went from sitting in a call centre earning $400 a week to driving silver service taxis, being able to, you know, put luggage in and out of cars and then you know, $2,000 a week.
So let's get him on. Let's get him on with you. We'll have a big chat together. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, no, it's interesting.
That's unreal. And so is he's still a client now?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. So you've changed his life. Changed his quality of life.
I've made him the best he can, helped make him the best he can possibly be. He's actually had to put the work in. He put some hard yards in.
Yeah.
Yeah, he used to train 5-6 days a week in the first 7 years.
Yeah. So are they the things that, I'm just trying to presume here, so, and correct me if I'm wrong, so are the things that motivate you now in this space is because it's a challenge, but it's also you see the massive results or what you can get to the results? Is that what the difference is compared to if, for example, you're training like an average schmo like me?
No, you see tremendous improvement.
Yeah, okay.
And the rewarding thing with this is their results. I can't help everyone, and I haven't been able to help everyone.
Okay.
But probably 90% I have.
Yeah.
And their progress is spiralling and continues to spiral, which is really enthusiastic for me.
Wow. That's awesome.
I think you met that one lass with cerebral palsy quadriplegia.
Yes.
She come to me as a 17-year-old with a bone density of an 80-year-old. She'd never been done any weight bearing. She'd actually broken her femurs in a standing frame with some fitness professionals.
Yeah, wow.
And she was very gun-shy of training. You've met her.
Yeah.
And in 2 years, I got her bone density that of a 50-year-old. I got her out of osteoporosis into osteopenia. I think I might have shown you because I've got everything I say, I've got records of.
Yeah.
And she's actually becoming weight-bearing now and got her standing up in the pool, and she does leg exercises. And her progress is just continual improvement.
I think this is the one that you sort of gave a bit of a carrot to and said, guest speaker or put on stage or something, wasn't it? That one?
Well, she wants to do that, to be a motivational speaker standing up one day. That's what she wants to do. Yeah.
That's fantastic. And you notice that a lot of people you work with in this space, people give up on them, or doctors misdiagnose, or like you're finding that the Pete Sargent way is like,
I think the best people to ask for this are their parents, or people involved with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got quite a good results with all of them, really.
Okay, you're being politically correct now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Well done. So how many people do you work with at the moment then?
I've got 3 with cerebral palsy, 2 with Parkinson's, 1 with muscular dystrophy. A couple of bodybuilders.
Okay.
Just a few clients that I've trained for many years.
Yeah.
And a few people in their 70s and that. And
there's a bit of variety there too.
Yeah, there's plenty of variety.
And you're still enjoying it? You're still enjoying what you do?
Yeah. Yeah, well, most of my clients become my friends. So.
Yeah, good. And what about yourself, Pete? Like you're fit for, I was going to say for your age, but I can't say that. You're very fit. Obviously, you would drive past on your bike with your shirt off, and I have a joke with your wife about that. I always go into the staff room and say, "Hey, I saw this guy today flying down on his push bike, had no shirt on." He goes, she goes, "Oh my god." And I said, "Oh yeah," and he goes, "Hey, that's good, hey." What else do you do besides cycling yourself? What kind of training do you do for yourself?
I was big into running.
Yeah.
And jogging. I've done marathons, full and half. I walk more nowadays and ride the bike and my weights.
You just do weights?
Yeah.
And do you design yourself a program like goals, or do you just go?
No, I just train intensely with weights for an hour and a half once a week.
Yeah, wow, okay. And is that here or at gym?
No, here.
Okay.
I just work from home now.
Yeah, everything's from home?
Yep.
That's handy?
Yeah, no, I don't miss the
commercial gyms?
The commercial gyms, not at all.
No. And what's your thoughts about, I want to get a controversy maybe here, the people like, I don't want you to necessarily bag anyone because you wouldn't do it anyway, but what's your thoughts about the traditional gym system, strength and power training and endurance training in the gym compared to these, fit stops, these F45s? Like, does everyone have a place or a balance? Because I know way back when I was doing my level 1 strength conditioning, I was talking to some of the Broncos people there, and I forget who I was talking to now. It was Dan Baker, I think, and I said, you must do a fair bit of like, all the different kind of fartlek training or the high intensity, low. He's like, no, strength and power, that's it, just strength and power. That's what he was about. So, are these other gyms, can they become more dangerous? Are we more suited to doing our typical strength programs in traditional gyms? Like, is there a balance? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. I think as long as someone's doing something, it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not going to say one area has more injuries than other areas.
No.
But if they attract people into the fitness industry and it makes people healthier, well, I support them all.
Yeah, okay. Would I see Peter Sargent at a CrossFit gym?
You might have 30 years ago.
Yeah. Not now?
Not now, no.
What about would I see him at an F45 gym?
Not now.
Not now?
No, you might have, when I was younger.
Yeah.
I would have given it a go, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. I was going to say, we're talking about a series on movement at the moment, and you're very experienced in this space, but is there like 3 or 5 or top thing that you see that movement, physical activity does for people? Like obviously physically it's huge, but Is there something that if you're trying to promote someone to get them back into exercise, for example, what are the top things that you're saying that exercise produces for them?
Well, cardiovascular fitness is of utmost importance.
Mm-hmm.
The more mitochondria you have in your cells in your body, the less your heart has to work.
Okay.
So, yeah, as I said, the more cardiovascular fitness you do, it just takes a lot of the workload off your heart.
Okay.
As in, at a cellular level, your body will metabolize sugar and things like that at the cellular level and just take stress off the heart. Plus, there's muscle pumps through every muscle in your body. And if they're active, they aid in venous return. That means those muscle pumps pump blood back up to your heart rather than your heart. See, people that are sedentary, right, and don't do much, if they get up quickly or go and do something, their blood will pool at the bottom of their body and the heart has to suck the blood up. So, yeah.
Heart's working harder.
Yeah. So you want your heart to not work hard. And you do that by cardiovascular fitness. High intensity is good. It makes you fitter, but it doesn't necessarily help you with establishing mitochondria in every cell in your body. That's more like steady state, walking, jogging. Yeah. They're both good and you should blend them, but, walking is probably best.
Okay. So walking, jogging, swimming, rowing, all the things that have some kind of aerobic effect?
Yeah, as long as, I don't favour anything as long as people, obviously weight bearing's better for bone density.
Yep.
Heart health, circulation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a rule of thumb or does it depend on the person and their age and their circumstance? Like if you suddenly said, Gary, you need to work on your cardiovascular fitness, typically that's, 5 days a week, 20 or 30 minutes a day. Is there a average that we should all be aiming for?
Well, a 40-minute jog equivocates to about an 80-minute walk.
Yeah, double.
Which equivocates to about nearly 2.5 hours a ride if you want to get something out of it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what we should be aiming for?
Yeah.
How often?
Every day.
40-minute run every day?
Or an 80-minute walk.
Yes. I'm a bit embarrassed over here. Okay. What about yourself? Did you find that physical activity gave you more than just the physical machine that you are? Like, did it give you more of the mental clarity and the energy? Like a lot of people say, you got to exercise to have energy, and some people go, well, why are we talking too lazy off the couch? I mean, what would they make sense?
No, it definitely energises you. It's great for mental health as well.
Yeah.
You do get endorphins off them.
Yeah.
And I mean, we all have our own natural heart rate.
Yeah.
And obviously if you go for a jog and a walk, your heart rate elevates.
Yeah.
But and people say, oh, you only have so many heartbeats in your heart and all this sort of thing.
Yeah.
But when you exercise and your heart rate goes up, when you stop, your heart rate actually falls below your normal resting level, and it stays there for quite a while. So you're banking some heartbeats.
I didn't know that. Really? That's what it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. What about, okay, so we talked about like cardiovascular fitness. What about if, like I've got young kids in the gym, and of course when the boys' stereotypical question is how much can you bench, sir? And I try and say it's not about that for you guys, especially now, or me by all means. But is there like, again, a rule of thumb that young guys and girls, let's say 15, 16, should be aiming for? Like I'm not trying to talk about sports specific at the moment. Should they be doing like 3 lots of 12 or 4 lots of 8, or should it be a periodized program, or would you still say no, it doesn't, it just depends on what their goals are?
It depends on what their goals are and whether it's sports specific.
Okay.
Obviously, teenagers around 14, 15, 16, they haven't stopped growing.
Mm-hmm.
So for longevity, you're better off probably sticking to weight bearing, things like chin-ups, dips.
Okay. Body weight exercises?
Yeah. Rather than loading.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we do, it's all good to be the strongest guy in the gym lifting the heaviest things, but it does take a toll later in life. And I'm very lucky that I trained smarter earlier.
Yeah.
And, use less weight but higher intensity, slower negatives.
Yeah.
Because, you can build quite a lot of muscle more with slowing the eccentric movement down than you can by, lifting heavy weights.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what if you're someone like myself who's pushing 50 and you're going, I want to go to the gym and still do my cardio? Am I best off doing so I'm not going for a sport ring, I just want to try and stay healthy, try and maintain weight. Am I still best off doing like a whole body workout 3 times a week, 3 sets of 12, 8 exercises? Or does it have to be, variety of?
Well, it depends on your goals. I mean, there's plenty of ways to skin a cat, even with bodybuilding. As you know, I competed at a fairly high level in the masters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was at my best when I did 3 weight workouts a fortnight.
Wow.
Mind you, that was a maintenance thing for me.
Yeah.
Because I went through all the different training regimes, like, 3-hour workouts, morning and night training.
Yeah.
All your muscle types, insane. But sometimes less is better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's still no rule of thumb. There's no real.
No, as long as you train.
Yeah. Okay.
And you train with purpose and you train with intensity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, here's a question for you. I asked Steve Nance this question the other day and said, how do you motivate someone to get back into exercise? And he said, well, he said, I can tell people as much as I want the benefits of exercise, but it still has to be something within them to get them going.
Yeah, generally it's a disease state.
Oh.
And sometimes it's even too late.
Is it something
that's
negative?
That's what wakes people up.
Yeah. There's no magic formula of trying to get someone to say, you used to love exercise, you
can't lead a horse to water.
No. Can't make them drink.
Mm.
All right. So it's usually the negative that gets them going.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Okay.
Like when I first got into gyms and exercise, it was really unfashionable.
Yeah, okay.
Like even jogging, people would go, what?
Who are you running from? Who are you running from, Pete?
Well, seriously, it was unfashionable. And it was only if you, like as I said, I worked in gyms in the 80s and early 90s, and you had your footballers, your martial artists, your boxers, rowers. But apart from, your normal John Smith, they never went to the gym.
Yeah.
I can remember the Peninsula only had the PCYC, Peninsula Fitness, and that was it.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how many gyms you'd have in the Peninsula.
There's heaps.
So there was a fitness boom in the mid to late 80s, early 90s, and media had a lot to do with that, and television shows on TV like The Biggest Loser, and I think social media had a lot to do with the explosion of the fitness industry.
Yeah,
for right or wrong reasons.
Yeah. It's quite ironic, isn't it, when you think about Biggest Loser, because although it might be interesting what you see, actually you have to sit on the couch to watch it. So it's pretty catch-22, isn't it, when you think about it?
Yeah, well, actually a mate of mine won the first one, Adro.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. I didn't know him at that time when he won it, but when he wanted to do a bodybuilding comp, I coached him for it, yeah.
Because I knew one of the guys who came second in the twin or the, I think, brother-sister edition. And he was doing something insane to try and win that at the end. Like really nearly killed himself, like just to get to cut weight.
Yeah.
Like crazy.
Yeah, Adro, I can't remember how much he lost, but it was a phenomenal amount in the time. Yeah.
Mm. How did you enjoy your bodybuilding days?
I first competed in 1997, and I did it the traditional way, no carbs. Nearly killed me.
Yeah.
I just hated it.
Yeah.
Then I went to uni, and as I said, I did a major in nutrition and learn about, how to eat with certain exercise and stuff like that, and how to optimize fat burning.
Yeah, right.
With heart rate.
Yeah.
And so then I went back into competing in 2010.
Yeah.
And I won probably 5 Queensland titles, placed in Australia.
That's
3
awesome.
or 4 times, won Asia Pacific, came 4th in Olympia 4 times in America.
Yeah.
I'm 2nd in the universe. I won about 9 or 10 titles, yeah.
Oh, wow. Was there much, do you have to have lots of supplements for that as well? Creatine, lots of protein powder?
Most supplements don't work.
They don't?
No.
No?
No.
You need to come and talk to our kids. They're all about the creatine at the moment. I'm just saying, just leave it.
Creatine does work, and if it's done properly, that's one of the supplements that does work, but there's not too many others. I mean, they cherry pick scientific facts to sell products.
Okay.
Like L-carnitine, for example, its job in the human body is to help mobilise fat, but if you supplement L-carnitine, your L-carnitine levels will go up in your blood, but it doesn't increase the fat mobilisation.
Oh,
right? So lots of the things are cherry-picked fats to suit certain supplements and to sell them. And the supplement companies back in the day never really liked me that much.
No, okay. And I guess you would have had a massive background too, wouldn't you, with all the stuff that you've done, like all your study you've done to complement the exercise and your goals and, your nutrition.
Yeah.
Do you have, is there rules of thumb now around nutrition for yourself?
No, I just enjoy food and eat what I want to eat.
Okay. Yeah.
In moderation.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the 3 keys to life are to eat sparingly, have a rewarding job, and pick your parents.
And pick your parents?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Well, yeah, you can't, but it's genetics are everything, see?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got good genes.
Yeah. Have you had like a favourite decade of your life? You look back at all the things you've done and I suppose the friends and relationships you've had. Is there a time where you've gone, I just actually remember that period as being my favourite?
I think the favourite decade of my life is right now.
You do, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Why is that mainly?
Just the grandkids, family, and my clients.
Yeah.
Because I've got some really rewarding ones at the moment that I'm working with.
So it doesn't actually feel like a job, does it?
No, it doesn't.
That's awesome. Well, that's awesome, mate. Well, I was going to ask you, is there anything else that I haven't sort of covered that you wanted to talk on or mention about? It feels like there's little pockets of little stories we're talking about. I could go into those for like ages. I'd have to come and get you back on. So I'm learning so much.
There's plenty to talk about.
Yeah. But anything, burning issue, any advice, anything out there that, what if I was saying to you, like if you had come to talk, Pete, to our high school, for example, and we know there's a lot of eating disorders, particularly with young women at the moment, especially around that anorexia and not eating during school time, not feeling their body, around boys, still how much can you bench? I'm in the gym 2 hours at a time, I'm 16 years old. Is there a common message?
Well, a lot of that's social media driven.
Yeah.
And, there's so many experts online, see? And actually what schools should do is teach basic biochemistry at school, in high school, just to aware kids of what carbs are, simple, complex, what fats are, omega-3, 6s, saturated, unsaturated.
Yeah.
And teach kids awareness of what they should put in their body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'd be going as a nutrition focus first?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, give them an understanding so that when they go online and see all this crap that's put on there, they can make some educated decisions themselves on what they should be eating.
Yeah, yeah.
Because, I mean, it really did open my eyes when I went to uni and did human nutrition.
Yeah.
Like, you know, just simple things like, you know, 2 gases make water. You know, timber is full of glucose, but it's joined by beta bonds. We can't eat it, but a termite can. They can break the beta bond down to suck the sugar out. You know, just
nuts, isn't it?
It's nuts. Yeah, and everything's made of the same stuff.
Yeah, crazy. I was going to ask you. I'll ask you another question. What do you think about the like, you know how there's all these different fad diets? Like there's a paleo diet, there's an Atkins diet, and there's a one where, you know, you starve yourself for 16 hours. What's that called?
Well, there's intermittent fasting, and intermittent fasting does have benefits.
Yeah,
especially for probably people like me of a more advanced age.
You start looking at me there for a pause. I know you're talking about.
No, and it does really help women, you know, 40, 50 plus, I feel. But it's something that you shouldn't abuse either. If you do it 3 times a week, I think that's good.
Okay.
Intermittent fasting is good because it promotes autophagy, which means if you're not eating, your body will break down cells that are broken.
Okay.
You know, they give off incorrect signals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And your body gets a chance to actually utilise them up, because if you're eating all the time, well, your body won't do that.
Yeah, okay.
So intermittent fasting here and there is a good thing.
Yeah.
Look, carb consumption is obviously a very contentious issue.
Yeah.
But, you know, low carb, protein, good fats, veggie salad, you got it.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're active, obviously you can eat more carbs.
I thought you were going to say have you sweets and sugars too. I thought you were going to say that. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with sugar either.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're really active, sugar's quite important in protein synthesis, because if you train really hard, do a hard weight workout or, you know, a long run and stuff like that, well, simple sugar straight after your workout will replenish lost glycogen stores, plus you'll get an insulin spike, and that will assist in protein synthesis.
Yeah.
So there's, you know, it's a tool that you can use.
Manipulate yourself.
Yeah, but if you're sitting on a couch all day long, just
sucking back the
lollies
breaks
and the you know, the sodas, well, you're only going to put on weight.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's where diabetes, where, you know, the whole thing is being 15 kilos above your right weight after 15, 20 years, your chances of, cardiovascular disease like atherosclerosis increased by like 40%.
Yeah, wow.
You know, so, you know, you got to remember you're born with one heart.
Yeah.
Right? And it's a bit like if, just say, you know, you're 19, 20, you're at your right weight for your heart, and then you get a sedentary job and you don't play sport, and then after 10 years you're 15, 20 kilos overweight. Well, that heart was to service 7 paddy fields, right? Now it's servicing 27 paddy fields. So it's got to work harder, right? Now, the hypothalamus, the brain goes, well, we don't want the heart to work harder.
Yeah.
So we'll shrink the pipe work. So shrink the pipe work so the heart doesn't work harder. Therefore, you've got increased blood pressure. And as that blood goes around corners and stuff, the endothelial cells split. And when they split, an LDL receptor will lodge there to plug the hole. And when it lodges there and a molecule of cholesterol comes along, it gets stuck there.
Yeah.
And that plugs the gap, right?
Oh, yeah.
A smooth muscle cell will come along there and smooth it over. So therefore you get a bit of a build-up that forms a thrombus.
Yeah.
So you've got a bit of cholesterol in there that'll calcify, so that's where you're getting...
So everything becomes narrower still?
That's where you get your calcification from.
Yeah.
You with me? So, you know, that can cause aneurysms, blockages. So that's what atherosclerosis virtually is. So, you know, there's no rule of thumb, but if you are over 15 kilos above your right weight for more than 15 years, you're opening yourself up to cardiovascular disease for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think that the knowledge that you got now sort of keeps you in check too? Does it help you with
Oh, yeah. Look, I consider myself overweight at the moment. So, I'll go on and lose 5 kilos and then I'm smick and then I'll go off the rails and put the 5 kilos back on. But that's all right.
You can do it.
You just got to find a balance.
Yeah. To find a happy place. Well, it's Christmas time too, mate, so you know.
Yeah.
You know what happens at Christmas time.
Yep.
So, yeah. Mate, it's a wealth of knowledge. It's so good. And, I could just see we could get into the scientific part of it too. It'd be so good. We'd probably blow all the listeners' brains, probably my brain too. So,
it's very interesting. Pretty basic. But the thing is, science is not complicated if you talk in layman's terms.
Yeah.
Like, if anyone wants to learn things about the human body, they should just have a scientific dictionary with them and look up the meanings of the fancy words because the fancy words just mean simple things.
Yeah. And it makes people sound smart though. The
it does.
All the time.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Well, mate, it's been a pleasure. Now I'm going to hit you with some really some difficult questions, if that's all right.
Yep.
Bit of fun on the show, if that's all right. But, mate, thanks for that noise. It's unbelievable. Here we go. I'm going to call this segment Quick Questions. So I'm going to give you a list of what your favourites might be, and you have to try to answer it within a sentence or so. That's all right?
Within how long?
Just a sentence or so.
Oh.
Here we go. Favourite exercise?
Decline bench.
A favourite excuse not to exercise that you've heard?
Oh, a favourite excuse I've heard from a client?
Yeah, anyway.
Okay, I had one come in. I've got a heaps. I had one that come in a wheelchair, and this is after training calves, and she had DOMS. She thought she was in some critical.
That's pretty good. Does Pete have a favourite movie?
Yes. Hang 'em High.
Okay, I think I've seen that one. Favourite drink?
Jim Beam and Coke.
Okay. Do you have a favourite food?
Yeah. Crumpets with Vegemite, butter, bacon and tomato sauce.
Wow, that's random. Where did you get that from? Was that just an experiment?
Myself. I love it.
Okay. Favourite song or song type?
Oh, it'd have to be rock and roll.
Rock and roll?
Yeah. Okay. Some Rolling Stones probably.
Did you want to sing any
Chuck
of that?
Berry?
Right
No.
Okay. Do you have a favourite animal?
Horse.
Do you have a favourite sport?
Australian rules.
Okay.
Collingwood supporter.
Do you have a favourite age group to train?
No.
No? Okay. Favourite holiday destination?
Oh, New York.
Okay. Favourite TV show?
As in a Netflix show? Or?
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah, Blacklist.
Okay. Favourite leisure activity?
Exercising.
Okay. Do you have...
Yeah, fishing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a favourite quote or saying?
Oh.
Surely as a PT there's some there.
Oh, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive. That's Shakespeare.
That's pretty in-depth too. One of the big ones at the moment. All right. You've nailed that, by the way. The next one is called word association. I'm going to give you a word or two, and you have to say only one word that sort of relates to that for you. All right? Here we go. Bike riding.
Happy.
Yep. Early morning starts.
Fantastic.
Cold beer.
On a hot day.
Okay. Excuses.
Nah.
Free weights.
Pardon?
Free weights.
Yeah, love them.
Coffee.
Nah, not my thing.
Okay. Protein powder.
Definitely not my thing.
Ooh. Horse racing.
Love it.
That was a quick answer, by the way. Friendships.
Oh, I'm blessed. Lots of friends over 40 years.
Recovery.
Recovery? Yeah, love recovery.
Okay.
Love rest time.
Family.
Yeah, most important.
Yep. Swimming.
Detest it.
Doing this podcast.
Yeah, fun.
Sleep.
Love it.
What's the recommended hours?
8.
Okay. All right. Once again, you've nailed this. This is too easy for you. I'm going to have to come back. The next one is called hypotheticals. All right. I've got 4 questions for you here. Pete's down to his last $20. I know what he's doing for sure, but he's down to his last $20.
I'll put it on a horse. Try and make 100.
I couldn't even finish the question. All right. What about if you inherited $2 million, what are you doing with the money?
I'd set up something for the grandkids.
Yeah, nice. Nice. If Pete was to have a last meal, what would it be?
Slow cooked lamb.
Oh, nice. All right. Stuck on a desert island and you can only take 3 people, non-family members. Who are they and why? And they could be anyone in the world, past, present, living.
If I was stuck on a
desert island, you only had to take 3 people.
Right now?
Yep. And you can't take family. So who are the 3 people you can take? Can be anyone.
I'd take a Indian American. I'd take an Aboriginal.
Okay.
And I'd take a chef.
Okay, why?
Because they can get all the food for me. Well, that they can live off the land, and that's something that we are. Look, if something happened in this world and we couldn't get water or electricity, most of us would die.
Yeah, yeah.
So I really admire the cultural side of
your
hunters and gatherers, and
so
we should all be able to live off the land and learn how to do things, and you know that if we can't go to a shelf and just grab something.
Yeah, I love asking that question because people often think, like, do they go to entertainment value or do they get someone like Bear Grylls to survive? And it's always like you never know what we're going to get, so it's always interesting to see what people's answers. I have got one last question for you. What does Peter Sargent see when he looks in the mirror? So I'm not talking about physically. As a man, when he looks in the mirror, what does he see?
There's someone trying to make things right.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, nice. Mate, I want to thank you for coming on the podcast. You haven't spoken. It's been a pleasure. It's been my pleasure. I'm a bit selfish. I like to pick your brains, mate. It's unreal. And I'd love to have, talk to your clients if they're keen to jump on. It'd be great to have them on. We'd have like 3 or 4 of them at the same time.
Yeah, we could organise that.
Happy to do that. And, you are doing amazing things. And, you probably know that you are doing good things, but I don't think you know the impact you actually have on people's lives, mate. So, you're changing people's lives, even with your friendships. You've been that constant person for them on the peninsula here, and people always talk highly of you. And I hope you know that, but I just want to thank you for all that you do and how you reshape people's lives and make them for the better always. So thanks for coming on the show, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Appreciate it.